Welcome to Won't You Be My Gamer. I'm Elyse Willems.
I'm Nikole Zabalich.
And we are joined by Danielle Roxborough, who is a relationship therapist, a family therapist. She's going to answer all of the questions we have about love today. We're talking about the softened startup. I don't even know what that is. And a really scary topic, divorce.
Yeah.
And we're playing
It Takes Two. It is a co-op game where you have to play with someone else. And it is testing our relationship, Elyse.
Hopefully Danielle can help us through it.
I got you guys. I got you.
There's some backstory here.
Yeah.
Where the man and woman that you can see in the yard there, they're on the verge of separating, of divorcing. And their child overhears this is happening and has these dolls that, like...
She's a witch.
It's kind of weird that she's got dolls that look just like her parents.
She has witch powers. The game doesn't explore it fully, but she's obviously has very strong witch powers. Just accept that.
Well, we've got to choose which one of these we want to be. Nikole, do you have a preference of the dad doll or the mom doll?
I mean, I kind of want to be dad doll. I like the branch on the head.
Yeah, it's a good look. We also have a bunch of, on our giant easel of love, a bunch of questions that are pulled from different surveys and relationship tools online. And well, Danielle, you specialize in like a certain school of thought on relationships, right?
Yes, I am Gottman certified level 2 clinician on the couples therapy method, and I basically am obsessed with the Gottmans. They are like the standard of care in terms of couples therapy. They've done longitudinal research, and they started in like the 70s.
And they're like they're the Gottmans.
They're a couple. The Gottmans, yeah.
And so is it a family business of care? Or?
Yeah, they're both doctors. They're both psychologists and researchers, and they've been doing that and couples therapy retreats at their own house.
Is there, if you're a couple who are getting divorced and you have kids, like, are there best practices to tell your kids that what's happening? Like, and does it vary by age? Because, a 3-year-old's going to understand it differently than a 10-year-old.
Absolutely. Depending on the age, you would use certain kid-friendly language, or, generally, you would like to keep it as calm and kind and, mellow as possible in terms of kids, because it's going to be a huge life transition issue. Hopefully, you'd have 2 co-parents that can work real well together, and they would say, hey, we're, still going to see your mom, still going to see your dad, or still going to see your mom and your mom, whatever it is. And then kind of like talk about what the plan would be, like giving them structure. Kids thrive in structure, and so they would need to have some structure to feel safe and also know that they'll have access to their other parent. But the couple is at the top of the family system hierarchy, so they really make the structure for the entire family if you think of a family as a system. So if the top is working well, imagine cogs kind of like having a normal status quo, that works. But then with a divorce or something, separation, whatever, disruption, the cogs could get kind of stuck, and that will leak down to the kids and whoever else, maybe a pet. Whoever's in the household, maybe right? That container can help. It'll all affect the family system.
I think we have our first question from the live viewers.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, so Orange Gatorade wants to know, when is divorce necessary?
Orange Gatorade, I like that flavor. When is it necessary? That is definitely up to the 2 parties, the 2 couples. I would say you're in a gridlock situation which looks kind of like you can't communicate about something. It's been nearly impossible to get out of it, or you're taking in negative influence from your partner, you're feeling very defensive. So if you can't communicate and you try therapy, that's another way to prevent divorce, but there's also discernment counseling where you can also look at what, if you have any options to fix these unsolvable problems, right? But generally, if you see that trust and commitment, which are the 2 walls of the safe relationship house via Gottman, that holds up your relationship, or if those are just crumbled down and in your emotional bank account you have nothing, then you would really need to focus on rebuilding an entirely new relationship from the ground up. So trust and commitment gone, nothing in your emotional bank account, no positivity, no thoughts of positivity or adoration regarding your partner. I would say that might look like something that could lead to divorce. I can give you some really good ideas about red flags, especially in terms of Gottman therapy. So the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, if those are showing up in relationships, then it will literally kill your relationship.
If your vacuum cleaner is talking to you, that's probably a red flag.
I would say that vacuum cleaner looks pretty scary, and yeah, it's definitely a red flag.
End it.
Yeah, I would run away from that. You might need to see a professional.
Yeah.
A professional at Lowe's, maybe.
Sorry, but the real red flags.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, the 4 horsemen.
The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, those are absolutely detrimental and break down relationships over time. So they are criticism, contempt, stonewalling, and defensiveness.
So if you're experiencing those kind of things in your relationship, is there a way to come back from them?
Absolutely, there are antidotes to all 4. One of my favorite antidotes is the softened startup. The softened startup is something that can predict the end of a good conversation, let's say, because 96% of the time, a conversation will end the way it starts. So it's up to the person who has a complaint to make it mindfully and to do it in a softened startup way. You know what, couples can have a code word too, like if they're in a big conflict. Sometimes an intervention I will use is to say, hey, you can make up a code word like pickle in the middle of a conflict and say, oh, you know what, pickle, we should probably just pause here and come back to it after we're regulated.
Can we use pickle?
Yeah, you can have pickle,
Okay.
definitely.
And pickle, Nikole.
Really good one.
Pickle.
Pickle.
Where are you going? You going in that tube? What if you're in a relationship and one of you is a risk taker and one of you is a little bit more grounded? Is that a problem?
I would say that's a commonality in relationships where one is more of like a homebody and the other wants to move out, and they're attracted to each other's opposites a lot of times, even in attachment style. They can come to compromises, right? Depending on how strong their relationship is. But if they get disagreements, if they have disagreements about it, maybe one person is so tired all the time, maybe the other person is just like anxious a lot, they would want to be out more. That could be problematic in a relationship if the needs are different.
Like, how true is the phrase opposites attract?
Very true.
See, I feel like I need to be glued to Nikole in this game, like Velcroed to her, which...
A bit codependent.
My own codependent.
No judgment.
Is that my attachment style?
I think I'm a little avoidant, I'll be real.
Yeah, so attachment style wise, like codependency can be kind of a symptom of an
Okay.
attachment style. But yeah, when you say you're avoidant, tell me some of what you mean by that.
Well, I'm thinking more with like friendships and in those kinds of relationships. The more needy a friend is, if there's something going on, I want to be there. But if they're just being a little needy, then my reaction is to be a little distant, and I have to be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" But that is my go-to.
Okay, so you're more of like the calm one.
And if she's distant, then I'm like, I gotta ramp this up. She needs to know I need her.
Right.
You know? I gotta be even more needy.
So generally we would call those, like depending on the intensity of it and how they show up, right, in relationships and friendships, any relationship, you could say that there would be an insecure attachment style. You would have an anxious attachment style or fearful attachment. And you would have maybe an avoidant or fearful avoidant or fearful dismissive. There's a lot of different like subtypes as well. But yes, usually anxious and avoidant magnetize just based on the qualities that they don't have that they might like or envy in another.
And we've got another question.
Ooh.
Okay, so Maura wants to know, do you think couples should do therapy before they get married, even if everything is good?
Absolutely, Maura nailed it.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah,
It
any
is.
therapy sounds like a great idea.
I do. It's premarital therapy, and it is
Controversial.
absolutely the best idea before you get married. As you know, the institution of marriage is supposed to be permanent, right? And you have a whole contract, and when you blend your lives together, there are a lot of complications that you would want to figure out first. Do we have shared values? Do we have shared interests? What are we going to do? Do we want kids? Do we not want kids? Do we want to travel? Do we not want to travel? What are our long-term and short-term goals?
Who gets Thanksgiving? Who gets Christmas? I don't think that's talked about enough until all of a sudden November comes around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big one too. Holidays, what are, which family do we go to? And then you have like cut off and enmeshed families that can penetrate the safeness of the relationship too. So that's a huge thing to keep in mind. Like, how do we deal with the in-laws? Stuff like that. There's just so many things to want to work out before you get married.
How important is it to have a good relationship with your partner's family? Is it important?
I would say it is, depending on if your partner values it and if you value it.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
And so,
Great
but we were talking
communication.
about the avoidant and anxious, and I feel like it's very popular with Gen Z to say that without saying it, with golden retriever boyfriend and black cat girlfriend. and we're kind of saying the same thing, but we're saying in much more, cute ways.
What is the black cat boyfriend?
So black cat girlfriend is the, kind of reserved, emo,
Aloof.
aesthetic, aloof. Yeah, maybe the more avoidant. And then the golden retriever boyfriend is
Happy, anxious.
just happy to be here. Yeah, am I a good boy? Am I a good boy? That kind of thing,
That's interesting, Gen Z wise, because it definitely is of that generation. I would say it's more or less, but mostly opposite for older generations.
Oh, this was a hot topic question that we saw on one of these relationship quizzes.
Yes.
I don't want my partner to suffer. I would prefer to suffer for them. This is from Psychology Today.
Yes.
What is like the healthy response to this, if there is one? Is that perspective a good one to have?
No, I think what it is doing is assessing for more of a martyrdom complex. Or a codependency complex. So a lot of times in codependency, or maybe even addiction and codependency, which you get a lot of the times, one would try and control for the other's emotional experience to guard them from negative emotions or negative experiences in fear that they would have an explosion, they wouldn't be able to handle it, and so they'll take the martyry one will take the hit, right? So they might do things like be very hypervigilant, walk on eggshells, try and absorb the shock of anything that could send the other more volatile person over the edge, right? Like maybe they would hide bottles if there was somebody who was addicted to alcohol, something like that, or stay in the relationship, although it's really hard. So yeah, that's what I believe that question is assessing for.
So Nat Cat asks, how do you know if your partner actually wants to change after they broke a boundary? What does change look like?
It's a great question because change is active, right?
Right. And mistakes happen with boundaries. Sometimes you have to remind people, like, hey, just so you know, this is what I meant, and here's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think I would know if they want to change after a conversation, like a connective conversation, where you would understand the meta emotion. Well, like what are my feelings about what happened here? What are his or her feelings about what happened here? Trying to understand why the boundary was broken. And if you can get meaning from that and they're open to sharing that, then maybe they are open to change. I would say the signs to look for if they're not open is if something is happening again and again and again and they're not willing to discuss it, or they're defensive about it, and they keep breaking the boundary, their actions will show you how they feel.
So it sounds like keyword is open. Like they have to be wanting this to change.
Absolutely. They must value what the partner values.
And if your partner doesn't, then is that like a be-all, end-all?
Depending. I mean, there are different kinds of problems in relationships. You have perpetual problems, which, are unsolvable sometimes, but you can have short-term solutions. There's solvable problems, which you can, negotiate on and so forth. Or you can get to a gridlock situation, again, where you're kind of stuck and you can't communicate about it and you don't know what to do, and there's offensiveness and a lot of horsemen involved, criticism, contempt, stonewalling. I think depending on which kind of problem we're looking at, then that's how you would know how to approach it. Relationships are amazing. They can either extend your life or they can physically end your life sooner. It's amazing.
So you can, change a relationship over, let's say you've been with someone for 10 years, that relationship might look different 10 years later, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It probably will no matter what, because like as humans, we don't stop evolving and changing and finding new favorite restaurants.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
Well, and then we have a great roommate question, and another great win from Orange Gatorade, who is so far our question MVP. It's not a competition, but they're winning. So what's a good way to tell if a partner would be a good roommate without having lived together yet? Ooh, I died twice.
Yeah, let me think.
Yeah, what are some good signs? I guess like a clean car might indicate that they can keep a room clean.
Yeah, what are their standards in terms of living, right?
Yeah,
do
check
they
that kitchen
value
sink.
the same things you do? Check the kitchen sink. Do they are they committed to the relationship in an active way? So my practice is called Love is a Verb counseling, because love is actually a verb that is to be nourished and acted on. Everything about love and relationships in terms of sustainability is a verb. You have to do to keep love alive. So same with a roommate, right? Or somebody that you would be moving in with. Are they already showing you that they're actively participating in the relationship? Are they showing you that they're committed and trustworthy? Remember, those are the two walls of the safe relationship house via Gottman. So.
Oh, tell us more about this house, because it's really hard to own property in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and guys, we just beat the first boss.
Danielle, can you tell everyone watching where they can check out your work and how to find you?
Absolutely. You can find me on www.loveisaverbcounseling.com. You can find me on Instagram at Love is a Verb Counseling. On Facebook as well, same thing, Love is a Verb Counseling. And on Gottman Referral Network, I'll be on there. I will be on Psychology Today, Danielle Roxborough, LMFT. I think I'm on, Fair Play Facilitator. I'm a certified facilitator on there as well.
I've only ever been on MySpace.
I was on there too.
So much.
Use Friendster.
Thanks so much, Danielle. And thank you so much to everyone for watching and hanging with us.
Yeah, viewers like you make this show possible. You can donate. It's pbssocal.org/gamer. You can watch the show Fridays and live chat with us and share your thoughts with us. Find us in the comments. Find us on TikTok, Instagram. We want to hear from you, and we're doing this for you, so we really appreciate it.
$60 donation gets you PBS Passport and a bonus t-shirt for Won't You Be My Gamer, or $7 a month, and then you just get that into infinity forever.
Forever.
Always.
Cool. Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week every Friday on Won't You Be My Gamer.